today, I can't see En-May at all, though. I need to be able to see her. All right. Thanks.
I'm here. I'm over here.
There she is. Can you see me? Can En-May see me?
Yes.
Okay, good. You guys, my name is Colleen Lowe, and welcome to today's episode where I am honored beyond comprehension to interview En-May. En-May, how do you say your last name? Mangels?
M with angels.
Yeah. Oh, rhymes with angels. Oh my gosh. And I told you guys on Facebook today and on Instagram that I was interviewing one of the angels walking on the earth, and I didn't even make that connection. That her name rhymes with angels. Oh my gosh, that is perfect. I love that connection. Anyway, I want to tell you a little bit about En-May before we listen to her. And literally, I hope that this will bring peace and love to your light and be a resource to you that maybe you can listen to over and over again if you're struggling or in a hard place, in a hard season in your life. Because I'll share later after I introduce her why I wanted to talk to En-May, because I met En-May and I ended up having some severe struggles, and she really helped me through it. But let me read her bio really quick to you so you can see how awesome and amazing she is. You'll be able to tell anyway when we're talking, but let me just tell you what it says. So it says internationally renowned strategic intuitive advisor, empath, and modern-day spiritualist, working with high-performing individuals in any industry and any walk of life. That's you guys. En-May engages with her clients to safely and compassionately and effectively remove limiting beliefs, providing insights to restore areas lacking vibrancy, productivity, or desired results, to inspire and propel their greatest outcome for themselves, their companies, and their lives within their circle. People from all walks of life, all stages of life, have sought En-May for counsel on matters of elevated emotional, spiritual, physical, and financial distress. I mean, who wouldn't want that? Fortune 500 company executives, Grammy stars, property developers, people who are so famous and successful she can't share who they are with you because she has privacy clauses in there. Those seeking to elevate their own understanding how intuition is the secret sauce to being the difference between them and their competition, are recognizing the importance of both mining the data and the intuition to produce the most impactful desired outcome. It's not magic. It's the ability to listen to a soul, your soul, or the soul of your business. Is that you, En-May?
I hang out in that space a lot.
Yeah, right? John, I need you to move.
And oh my gosh, Colleen, I think we met each other how many gazillion years ago?
2016. I looked it up because I was looking for, yeah, I was looking for pictures to post. I still couldn't find my face. There's a picture of me, you, and Anne that I can't find. I need to find it. I couldn't find it last night.
I'll hunt it down.
And yeah, see if you can find it. Anyway, it's so funny. I just want to tell you, let me just tell you really quick how I met En-May. And this is why it's so important for people to step out of their comfort zones. Is I was looking to take my life to the next level. And I could tell that this kid in my office who was renting office space with, I could tell he had an energy about him, and he was definitely going to become very successful. And his name was Kevin Sturdivant, Kevion, which a lot of people call him. Anyway, so I asked him if an old lady could hang out with him and come to all his meetings. And I did. I went to everything he did. Anytime he spoke, I was there. Anytime I went to his office meetings, I went to everything he did. And he really impacted my life. But he said he followed this guy, Thatch. And so I started following Thatch. And one time I was making a video because Thatch told me the difference between appreciation and gratitude. And I had been telling everyone on Facebook Lives they should do gratitude every day. And he told me, oh no, appreciation is so much better than gratitude. So I went and apologized to everyone for giving them false information, that I was just doing the best I could and that we all needed to do appreciation. And Thatch types, Colleen, you should come in 2 days. This was like 2 days away from the event. You should fly up here. We're having this big event up here. And literally, John bought me a plane ticket and I flew up there. And that's when I met you, because Anne had breakfast or dinner with you. And I met her on the train in Seattle. And she said, you should come eat with me and my friend. And her friend was you.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's how I met you. And I was scared to death to get on that plane by myself.
Right. Your first adventure on your own and into a large convention of people who are also looking for opportunities of growth in their real estate market. Mm-hmm. And we did talk about the difference between gratitude and appreciation. And let's start right there.
Okay.
Gratitude already happened.
Yeah.
Gratitude already happened. I had a big conversation about this with a certain woman whose name, oh God, I can't even say it again. But she is a big promoter of the gratitude journals. Mm-hmm. And I said, that already happened. Like, I'm grateful for my heritage, my rice cooker, my the gas in my car. Okay? But when we talk about appreciation, we're talking about this very moment. This moment, like, let's talk about today. I appreciate the birds that woke me up instead of my alarm clock. Oh, and I appreciate the smell of coffee when Jack was coming up the stairs with a cup of coffee and I was using my bra and ripping through my appreciations going, yeah, I appreciate this and that. And he goes, oh, it's another Windex moment, huh? So it's the smell of coffee in the moment. I appreciate that I get to work with amazing people every day. When we think about what we have right in front of us, oh my God, it's not so poopy. Yeah. It really is not.
It's not so poopy. Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. I mean, we do have to go through our poopy moments to know what we want. Mm-hmm. It helps us get clarity of what we're really seeking. And sometimes we get slammed up against the wall. Maybe too many times, it'll knock a few cells around. But I think that going through hard moments or even traumatic moments, they teach us so much about where we would really appreciate going.
Gosh, it's so true, isn't it? I've been through a lot of trauma, as a lot of people have, but I've been through severe trauma. And I think that the traumatic moments do give us clarity and shape us into better people if we allow it. Do you agree with that, if we allow it?
Ooh, allow. Yes, that's interesting. Allow, or being open to, or giving us new stretch to your own definition. Okay. Mm-hmm. Giving an opportunity to pop open your definitions. I gotta share this experience of definition. Okay. My dad, I may have been about 11 years old. I grew up in the San Fernando Valley in California. My dad goes, hey, En-May, you want to pick a religion? I go, what's that? And he says, well, we hang out in a nice building. We read some nice books. We hang out with good people. There's probably some good food and some music. I heard food and music and I went, oh, let's go. So we tried out a Jewish synagogue. They had lox and bagels. We went to a Japanese Buddhist temple. They had teriyaki in the back. I remember my Maria took me to a Mexican Catholic cathedral, and she put a doily or something on my head, this lacy thing, and then I had a dry cracker that was put on my tongue, and I walked back to my seat. We went to 13 different religious locations all out throughout San Fernando Valley. So my dad, at the end of the summer, he goes, well, did you pick one? I said, yeah, the one with good food and good music. So he says, that's my universal kid. And what really came out of that is there is no one right. There is a fit for everybody, a pilgrimage, a space, a place of sanctuary or ritual, a place of honor and grace for everyone. And so whatever that recipe might be for you, understand that there's so many different recipes for each person. So when I think about the definition of what is religion, it is a space of peace.
Peace.
Right?
Isn't that our goal? Peace and joy?
Everyone, I would hope.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel like the last 18 months, a lot of people are struggling to find their peace and their joy?
I think they're still looking.
Yeah, I do. I have a question for you. What is happiness and joy? What does that mean to you?
Ooh. So I think happiness is elusive. It means it's moving all the time. It's I feel like it's like a wave. It's moving in and out. And sometimes that definition of happiness can be in the moment. I like to call it happy should be on a birthday cake. You split it up, you share it, you enjoy it, and then boop, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But joy is kind of perpetual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I like perpetual joy. I'm kind of a big fan of that. And joys include things like waking up.
Yeah, right. Not everyone woke up today.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Waking up.
Mm-hmm.
Or having hot water. Gosh, having great friends.
That's rich. That is a true joy.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good people in your life.
Yeah. Having basmati rice with my Indian curry. There's interesting joys that are right in front of us. Mm-hmm. And I think we need a bank of those. And so that when we're not sure if we're happy, you can count on those joys.
Yes, because they're different, joy and happy.
Right? And so that is another thing that says that I am collecting those joys always. I walk around with them. I keep them. Actually, one of my shamans taught me to keep a cigar box full of joy. So I have a little bag of sand from Santa Monica in there ever since I was a kid. And I can still shake it or open it and smell it and touch it.
Oh, smart.
And it still reminds me of our trip, a family trip to Santa Monica Beach. There's some goofy things in there. There's a Batman ring in there. And there's a
Batman?
A Batman ring, yes, that I got from McDonald's, I think. I don't know. Or and there's a candy cane from, I think, 1964. But there's pictures of old doggies that I've had. That's joy. And I think that I travel with that box sometimes, or even have a picture of it on my camera, like, that's joy, that's joy. I might be going through some poopy right now, but this is joy. So hang on to your joy spots there. I think that's an important thing, that everyone needs a kind of a ritual or a tradition that says this is what I can produce and create.
Yes, because sometimes we go through harder seasons, and it's good to remember it's just a season. Things don't last forever.
No, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Even stinky stuff, it just doesn't last forever.
No, it's interesting. And I do think that sometimes having, like, I think people, if you resonate with them, which we'll talk more about, they should contact you and schedule a one-on-one appointment with you. Because literally the way you help, like, if you're in a poopy stage of your life, or a difficult stage, however you want to look at it, or a traumatic thing, or something sad or hard is going on in your life, I think reframing it too sometimes, and how you look at it, and how you journal about it, how you speak about it, is so important. One time when we were struggling with our middle son, he had addiction struggles. And it was a year later, I think, and you and I were talking, and I asked you, how can I reframe this difficult situation into something in my A.I.D, which we should talk about A.I.D after we talk about this. But I was asking you, how can I reframe this to be, I can't delegate for him, but I can delegate for myself. And you said, and I write this every day in my journal still, every day, this is an impact you've had on somebody all these years later, is that I write that Mason will find the maturing tools that resonate with him to be successful, healthy, and happy, or something better. And
OFB, or something better.
Or something better. And what a difference between how I was looking at things, right? And then how things, and then what's amazing is things have gotten a lot better, right? And
so we took your story of Mason from the place that started with, I don't want. Mm-hmm. I don't want to hurt. I don't want him to hurt. I don't want to be scared. I don't want to be frightened. I don't want him to fall down and leave this world. I don't want. Okay, so when we're listening to those I don't wants, we're listening to our instinctive side.
Instinctive side.
Right? Okay, so here's a big one. Okay, alert, alert. Instinct is very important. Okay, it'll keep you from being hit by a bus. It's there to protect, but it shouldn't be your inner guidance system. Okay, it is purposely there as your protector, but it is operated by your ego.
Ego.
Yes. So ego says, don't look stupid. Don't get hurt. Don't have something bad happen to you. Wear underwear. It's just telling you, be cautious. Always be cautious. And sometimes it's on high alert. It's so high that it keeps you in a place of being either in fear, flight, or frozen. I don't know if I told you, Colleen, I named my ego Bitchy Kitty.
You did?
Yeah. So I can tell when Bitchy Kitty goes off, I can hear her going, well, why didn't you send that invoice? Or why didn't you make that book? And why did you wear it? And why are you wearing that silly dress? Okay. And it's trying to protect me and make me look good.
Yes.
Sometimes I have to put Bitchy Kitty in the crate. That means calm down. She loves pistachio ice cream, by the way. So we just calm her down and we turn up the volume of our own intuitive self. Okay. That's the total opposite of instinct. Your intuitive self is kind of lives around your throat and your heart and your belly. It's in here. Okay. She bounces around. He bounces around. He's right there. This is the God space, your Buddha space, your space of flying. So when we start our sentence with, I love it when, that's the easiest way to listen to your own intuition because it is acting as your inner guidance system. It is there for your greatest, highest good and the good of all others. So with Mason, we turn the sentence from, I don't want him to be an addict, to, I love it when he's in his vibrant health.
Yeah.
I don't want him to struggle with drugs and alcohol. I love it when he knows the difference and he knows how to create a majestic life for himself that's full of energy and love and grace and good fun. Choose what words you're going to use, what words you're going to put into the universe or write or even put on a piece of paper and send to somebody.
Choice. The words we use are so important.
Ooh, yeah, but if you play inside of your intuitive energy, whoa, I'd say everybody is intuitive. Everybody is. It shows up in different ways.
And I think that's one of the questions someone sent me is how can, this is a question someone sent me that says, how did you get into the energy world? And can somebody cultivate that gift in their life?
Everybody can. I want to assure everyone that you are all intuitive. And it comes through a few different strands of your mind, body, and spirit. Intuition can come emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, even financially.
Oh, wow.
These are your pathways to your own intuition. Colleen, you're a highly emotional intuitive.
I am.
You feel other people's emotions before they feel it. You can tell, right? You can tell how somebody's having, what's their day like, or they're going through a little crisis, or maybe you're feeling them so excited and elated that they can barely think.
Yes, I can tell. You're
Yeah.
right.
Okay. So you also use that alongside your mentalist side. You and John have really strong mental intuition. That means you can see from A to B. And the best pathway or the straightest pathway. Now, with your emotion, you wiggle that pathway. And John goes A to B and he gives us the straightest line possible. So I would say that John is a strong mental intuitive. And then his secondary part is emotional. That means he can feel your emotions and the results of what he wants to inspire.
It's
So
so true.
everybody has it.
Everybody has it. And,
Mhm.
and I think that the more we pay attention to it and fine tune it, the better it gets. And can you share how you got started as being an empath and a spiritual guide? And because really, I think your story is just amazing. So I hope don't mind sharing it. And, you know, I know some people might think we're crazy because, when I first heard about all this kind of stuff, I thought I'll have you share your story in a minute, but I know there might be people at this point going, okay, Colleen's lost it. And who's this En-May? And why does she have her on here? And how does that relate to
Yeah.
my business life or my personal life or whatever it is? And I just really think that because I remember when I first learned about this, I thought there's no way I attracted all this stuff into my life because my life wasn't exactly where I wanted it to be. And I thought, I can't be responsible for all of this. But, my energy wasn't, I didn't know how to regulate. I've learned a lot, right? I didn't know how to regulate my energy and change things and to be intentional. But first, share your story with us of how did you get to be the En-May we see today that so many people turn to help them with their lives? How did this journey start?
In my backyard in a sandbox at the age of 3.
Wow.
So I'm talking to dead people. And I thought everybody could. So my father walks out in the backyard and he sees me talking in Chinese. Now, yeah, I look Chinese. Yes, my dad's Chinese. My mother was Japanese. So yeah, I'm a half, and I'm born in Sherman Oaks, California, and now married to a German Irish guy in Seattle, Washington. I diverse here.
And that's good. We love diversion. Squirrel.
Yeah, it was a Chinese squirrel. I was talking to the spirit of my grandfather in Chinese. I don't speak Chinese. I can order food, but I don't speak Chinese. So suddenly my father's going, oh my God, what is going on? So he asked me, he said, okay, so what does grandpa say? And he said a story about my father that only my father and grandpa know.
Mm.
And he said, oh yeah, she has family curse. Okay, that's what they used to call it, the family curse. Yeah. So they got me. By the time I was 6 years old, I had like 6 shamans, a therapist, and an attorney on speed dial. And yeah, well, you never know what's going to come out of this. I had no filter.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this ability to see, hear, smell, taste, sense, spirit from other realms,
Mm-hmm.
from the past as well as those yet to come. So I had quite a Christmas list to take care of. And for a while, I fought it. There was a time where I used drugs and alcohol to get away from the sound of these incredible voices. But they said, no, you're supposed to do this.
It was your calling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried college, or I I specialize in mergers and acquisitions and international business and foreign affairs. I thought I was going into consulate work.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up helping a lot of companies get established or be sold into bigger companies. But I also felt like, oh my God, these people are going to lose their jobs. I got to help them find jobs. Boom. I just did that. And they all had better jobs than what they came out of. So I realized, wow, I could turn this into a gig. So that's what happened. And now I go around working with exceptional beings such as yourself, and allowing them to remember their grace, of remembering why they're really here. Sometimes that's kind of hidden under a bunch of trash.
I think we forget along the way.
Woo.
I think we forget. I think life gets in the way and we forget. When you're a child, you remember, your dreams are huge, and when someone says, what do you want to be when you grow up? You'll say whatever it is, you say it, and you never think, oh, I could never do that, right? You're going to do that. And I think we forget who we are. And I think we forget what our gifts are. Like your gift manifested early, right?
Yes.
And I'm just grateful that you chose to get back on the path because so many people have been impacted. In fact, that brings us to another question someone sent me. Let's look at this. It says here, what was the most impactful way you have helped someone with your empath powers? That's from Jody Gibson, our friend.
Hi, Jody.
Yeah,
Colleen, actually, it might have been you.
it might have been me.
When I think about your son and going through cancer.
Oh my gosh, it can make me cry, I think. It's so funny. Is you're the person, I didn't know we were going to talk like this, but um, it looked like Carter had cancer everywhere. And you're the one who helped me coin, miracles are my normal and everything's always working out for me. And you're the one, and I told you, yeah, but this is different. I already was saying that to myself. And I said, no, this is different. My son has cancer everywhere, kidneys, lungs, sacrum bone, hips, here, just everywhere, kidneys. And it's so funny. You said, it's not different. It's all the same.
Because I heard you say, yeah, but he has this. Yeah, but what happens? Yeah, but he's going to, something awful will happen. Yeah, but. Okay. Yeah, but is fear noise. Okay.
Fear noise.
Right? It's a noise. It's a noise.
When they first showed us it, I thought I was a very positive person until I sat in a room where they brought up every part of Carter's body in the scans. And I acted fine in front of Carter. Of course, because I don't want to freak him out. And he's on oxygen. We're there. And anyway, I hyperventilated, cried the whole way home. This is right before I talked to you.
Yeah.
I hyperventilated, cried all the way. I don't even know how I made it home. I should have taken an Uber, but I didn't know that was going to happen. I couldn't even get out of my car because I couldn't move. I had to call my neighbor. Yeah. She had to get me out of the car and put me to bed. And then I talked to you the next day.
Yes.
And you told me miracles are my norm. And when I said, yeah, but you said there is no yeah, but.
So, Colleen, yes, you were the one. I can remember so clearly the impact of change. And I have never met Carter. It was not for me to meet Carter. It was to meet you where you were hurting. And the belief of giving all of your faith into a medical physician.
Yes.
And a technology and a way of diagnosing and constructing a form of comfort. And I said, no. I just said,
yeah, you said no.
Yeah, we're not done yet. We're not done. And I think that I'm a firm believer of M&Ms, miracles and magic. That's my M&Ms. And they come in all kinds of flavors. My feeling is that while he's facing, even though he is facing the struggle of his life, when we remember how to deeply and completely love and accept ourselves and others and Carter, just the way he is.
Yeah, just the way he is.
Just the way he is. We appreciate the moment. In this moment, he's breathing. In this moment, he is laughing. In this moment, he is enjoying company of his family. In this moment. So what we were doing was building every cell in his body to be life-sustaining, to be only collecting all the good cells and spitting out all the bad cells. So we are doing this from a vibrational standpoint.
Yes.
I'm not saying that's a medicine, but holy stinky pants, that is huge energy.
I believe that the only reason Carter is alive today has nothing to do with modern medicine and has everything to do with miracles. That is my firm belief. I don't just believe it. I know it with every fiber of my being. And I do think that whole experience changed me to a completely different person. Completely. Yeah, I just know that what we think and how we approach things is so important. One time in the beginning when I was not certain about miracles, And I said something to Carter, and Carter said, Mom, I'm going to bury you. You're not burying me. I am going to bury you. I'm going to walk out of here and everything's going to be fine. So he told me, he goes, I don't want you to ever talk like that again.
All right, Carter. So, and I can tell you these kind of examples have happened many, many times in my life to assist people to get through some of the hardest traumas of their life, whether it's to lose a loved one or switch careers or lose everything. It's freaky. It's amazing.
It is amazing. You know, I listened to a story because I listened to everything about you before we had this interview.
Cool.
And it's amazing. You told someone, because you do people always, let's just ask this, do people always listen to you? Someone did not listen to your advice back in 2007. And can you share that story with us? Because I do think people should know that this can apply to your business, not just to health things or anything. And someone didn't listen to you they bought a place like a condominium complex or something for townhomes, and you told them to assign it and not to keep it. Like they found a property, but it wasn't really what they do, and you told they should assign it. You didn't even really know what assigning meant. You know what story I'm talking about? And then the 2008 was the big real estate crash, and then they lost a boatload of money because they didn't listen to you.
Yeah.
Millions.
Well, yeah. You just told the story, but you know, everybody has free will. I'm not saying I'm right. In the moment, as I stand with them and the vision of their greatest success shows up for me. By the way, it shows up sort of like, what are those called? A clicky cookie picture thing that changes.
A Viewmaster.
Yeah, that's how it looks to me. It shows up like that. Like I get the story of your life in a little format. That's how it shows up.
Oh,
go figure.
That's Viewmaster.
Yeah. So I get that, and it downloads. And in particular for this particular developer at that time, I said, no, this is not yours. You're supposed to be doing something else, because I could see the grandeur of where he was supposed to go instead of being locked into this other property. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, he chose his free will, and but everything worked out, but it took longer than he anticipated. And so, you know, I don't force anybody. I don't force anybody to see me. I don't force anybody to listen to me. God, that's your decision. And those are your ghosts and your angels telling you. But sometimes poo-poo.
Yeah, sometimes poo-poo comes. And, you know, it's interesting let's talk about angels, because the one thing I learned from you and from Thatch is I already believed in angels before I met you, which everyone can have their own opinion about that. But I know I'm going into some territory that might really make some people uncomfortable. But and if you don't agree with me, that's great. And that's fine. This is just my opinion. It's not my opinion. This is actually, I know this with every fiber of my being, is that I feel like my grandparents and that I was very close to. And then my sister died 8 years ago. And I was she's my only sibling. And I do feel like my sister and my grandparents are in heaven orchestrating, helping orchestrate my life. I believe, I mean, this is just my opinion, that of course it makes sense that your family members would be the ones helping you organize, and because they love you and they're close to you, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Sometimes they're not. Mine were, because you're right. Sometimes people have families that are toxic and unloving, right? I forget about that because I come from a really close family, you know? Yeah, sometimes. Anyways, so their guardian angels don't have to be their family members.
Right.
This is
right. I have this dolphin who's one of my family members. I mean, it's my spirit animal, my dolphin. And sometimes dolphin will say, En-May, stop working. Would you go out and play? Go outside, please go outside. So sometimes I need that little wake up call. I believe that angels, spirits, ghosts, whatever you want to call them, there are other entities from other dimensions, and it can also be just a vibration or an energy. If you get goosebumps, pay attention. If the hairs on the back of your neck go up, pay attention. If you skip a beat or you go, pay attention. All of that they're all intuitive signals from a greater, higher voice, your inner voice, your God voice. It is there to assist you and move you towards your best outcome. So if you're getting messages, if your grandparents, if your sister is part of your universal team, absolutely thank them in advance. When I go into prayer or when I go into meditation, I'm not begging. I don't freaking ever beg. Don't beg. Go there and say thank you in advance for. Okay. My team likes to have clipboards and they take notes on what I want. And I can hear that pen of theirs go, yeah, she wants more of those. She wants more clients. She wants this kind. She wants a vacation upgrade. Okay, got it. So when I say thank you in advance for ideally arranging and orchestrating my life to the greatest and highest good, my vibrational health is like, wow, I get to have the most amazing clients. It happens. No begging required.
No begging. No scarcity, right? You're not coming from fear at all.
No, I don't like roller coasters, but no, it's no fear. It's not a fear thing. It's a confidence in the higher and greater good.
Yeah, and I love how you say that it's the greater and higher good.
Mm-hmm.
And because we all have a purpose here, right? And I think that some of us forget that. And then what was I going to say here? Hold on, let's look at some of the other questions we have for people.
Okay.
Oh, what are some of your daily habits and routines?
It's funny. I've been studying lately rituals and how important they are. I remember when it was time for me to plan my wedding, I'm thinking, I don't want a wedding. I just don't want to sit down and eat chicken with 50 people. And like, I don't need that. I don't need this part. And I went to one of my shamans and she said, En-May, this ritual is not for you. This is for the ones you leave behind. That they will understand your new position. You're going to be Mrs. En-May Mangels. You're going to be moving. You're going to establish your own life. This wedding ritual was to allow people to adjust and move into another shape of who En-May is.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh my God, I didn't think of that. I was just thinking, me. I don't want a white dress. So, like, okay, we'll do the chicken. And it turned out absolutely fun. It was a party and very easygoing. But I think that what I do every day is a lot of ritual. It is a lot of ritual. In fact, Colleen, as we speak right now, I'm in meditation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in meditation. Before our call started, we had a little electronical glitches, and both of us were already saying, oh, everything is going to work out. And wham.
And it did work out.
Right? Yeah. So part of the ritual is always visualizing the greatest and highest.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest and highest outcome, the greatest and highest good, the greatest and highest opportunities, and like a launch pad of just more and more of OSB or something better. And I say that because we don't dream big enough.
We don't.
Right? So part of, I think, daily routine is A.I.D. Okay, so maybe we should chat about that, right?
Yeah, will you explain what A.I.D is? This is what I learned when I came to Seattle. It changed my life. In fact, did you know I'm going to make an A.I.D journal? I found a graphic designer in Hawaii. She's going to help me, and I'm going to have these journals available and where it's a format to help people because it has transformed my life.
So A.I.D is not like a gratitude journal. It puts you in this moment. Mm-hmm. So A stands for appreciation. Mm-hmm. What do you appreciate today? So just jot down 3 things. What you appreciate about today. I is the intention. I intend to be. So this is a state of beingness. I often put on mine, I intend to be giddy. I intend to be excited. I intend to be joyful, creative, inspiring, successful, a money magnet. Okay, so I think that your intention is very important, and it gives attention to that energy, that vibration. You know that we have 30,000 emotions?
30,000.
I know, that's why we're so messed up. There are 30,000 emotions, and we average person goes through 40 to 60 emotions a day. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
And yeah, well, that's why we're but I think it's important to remember your intention. If you start your day with at least 3 of them, just give thought to that. This gives you the attention to have that inspiration, have that going. Okay. D is to delegate. Now, that doesn't mean you tell your staff, nah, 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 nah. You have a different staff. That means you're talking to your universal team, or that you're talking to your higher good, or maybe it's your grandma or your grandpa, or for me, it's my mom and dad. And that's important. They gave me quite a backbone, and they front loaded me with the support and the nourishment that I needed to have faith and belief in what I do. So I delegate to my magical team, my universal team, my grandma, my grandpa, my aunties. There's so many wonderful people that are there watching over me. So I tell them, I delegate to them my ideal health, 3 ideal deals, like a book, like an ebook, like a video, maybe our YouTube channel. And maybe the other one is that they took care of my upgrade on my Kauai vacation, which is coming up next October, not this year, but I'm going to wait a year.
I think that's a good idea. Let's keep Let's keep it safe.
Well, I didn't think it was for me to go right now. You know, I'm pretty okay going to my local Safeway and making my own Hawaiian dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But to delegate, and then I set it free. Just watch what comes up. It's amazing what comes up all by itself.
The setting it free, not being attached to it, and but believing and expecting it's on its way. It's in your vortex coming.
Colleen, look at how loaded your vortex has become.
Mm-hmm.
Look how beautiful. I believe also every once in a while you do have to clean out your vortex.
Can you explain that? And I liked how because I took so many notes listening this week to all your interviews, cleaning out your vortex. And will you talk about resetting the meaning you give and the definitions you give to stuff you say to yourself and your experiences?
Oh my gosh.
I love that. And I think we need to explain that to people so they can do that.
Well, Abraham Hicks speaks often of the vortex. Mm-hmm. And those of you who understand her concept of the vortex is that it is the energy of inspiration, of what we carry with us. And sometimes it's not moving as fast as we want. Sometimes it's moving in the opposite direction that we wanted. And sometimes it's stalled or just plugged up. So every once in a while, I do it as an update. Every time my phone goes through an update, I update my vortex.
Good. That's great.
I actually use that update often to update my definitions of life, to kind of resize everything. Because sometimes I really am not dreaming big enough for myself. Mm-hmm. So I encourage everybody to look at the vortex and check to see, is it updated? Now, are my definitions as big as they should be? Or is this out? Is this old that I don't need this any longer? Or maybe I already finished that. I already got that. Let's make room for some new stuff. And that's like make room for other people to even kind of play in your vortex if you want. Occasionally, I will have visitors in my vortex. I do like a party. So I will invite our higher guides to go, hey, would you like to hang out in my vortex? And it's really fun. So I think that cleaning out the vortex is a very important thing.
I was thinking You said you like to have fun. How important is having fun?
Oh my God, Colleen, I was 50 when this happened. I wish it happened sooner. But I had gone to the Portland, Oregon Convention Center to do a conference. Somebody had asked me to do a speaking gig for a bunch of retailers. I did it, and they paid me really nice. And okay, it's drivable. And I went out there. And when I was speaking, we can hear this crackle, crackle, boom, 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 crash, 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 sounds of a giant storm happening outside. And yes, there was a big storm. And then the conference went long. They had lots of questions, and I was staying there for a couple of hours longer. I walk out the back side, and a couple of dock workers are out there and going, "Hey, lady, where do you think you're going?" I said, "To my car." And they go, "Yeah, sure." And I'm on my butt and sliding across the parking lot, slid across the street and slammed up against a Toyota Camry. And they were watching and they said, "Oh my God, you're alive." And they came out and got me. And those guys were wearing like cleats. And they go, "Lady, have you ever seen an ice storm?" I said, "No, I'm from Southern California. I'd never seen an ice storm." And it looked like a good and plenty. Like everything was coated in about an inch of ice, including my car. I could not get the key in the lock, let alone think I could drive on ice-coated streets. So they pushed my butt back up to the parking lot. And they go, "Maybe we can get you a hotel across the street." So they had one room left, and it was a suite. Gee darn.
Yeah, shucky darns.
Right? And I had to stay there for 2 days. And my husband goes, "Don't even come. I just heard that I-5 is closed. Don't. Just stay there, enjoy." And I said, "Okay." So what came out of my mouth was, if it's not fun, I'm not doing it.
That's a good philosophy.
I live my life that way now. So how important is fun? Hell yeah. It's more than important. It's part of breathing. It's part of joy. It's part of gathering information about what people like, what people don't like, what is important, how to spend our time. It's really important. So I tell realtors, if it's not fun, don't do it. Mm-hmm. Truly, if that listing is not for you, then give it to somebody who will do the greatest and highest good for somebody else. If that property it doesn't feel right to you, give it to somebody else for their greatest and highest good. You want to work at your funnest. You want to be at your highest. Mm-hmm. So you might as well have fun.
Yeah, I think fun is the key because it means that we're in alignment.
Right?
Yeah, I do feel like I didn't get this. I used to be a workaholic and I used to just be cranky and, tired and worn out and doing too much, overcommitted. And when we're overcommitted and we don't say no to stuff and make sure we get our rest, it's very hard to be intuitive because we're so busy. There's no room for fun or intuition because we're not. I was just too busy. And, the one thing for me personally, the pandemic has really been a blessing because it's really made me as a person slow down. I'm an overcommitter up until now. And the pandemic, we weren't able to overcommit because we weren't allowed to do anything. And it's interesting that I found out that Thanksgiving and Christmas with just our family is fantastic. I don't have to have 50 or 60 people over to have a good Christmas, right? I don't know. I grew up with that. So I just thought that was normal, right? But it's really nice to have a small group of people because I wasn't worn out and exhausted and running around like a crazy person. I could just sit and be present with my family. And
right.
So
So sometimes those old experiences that define what is a Thanksgiving, what is a holiday, what is a gathering, we took those experiences from our past and said, well, that's my right. That's what is and anything else is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's all kinds of ways to do it right.
All kinds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to share a little experience on how to say no.
Okay, good. Because I think we all could use that.
I'm often asked to speak, to lead a conference, or to come in or do a closing on a conference. And there's some organizations that I adore, some that I can't quite support. And they'll still ask, and I have to think about that. And they usually want to answer on the spot. And I'll say, thank you for asking. Thank you for even considering me for whatever it is that you wanted. I'm going to ask that you give me 24 hours to let me cogitate on that and ponder if that really is resonating with me. And I'll come back to you. So I'll take the 24 hours and review. Is this for my greatest and highest good? Is this for the good of all others? Is this worth the time? Not just my time, but their time. And if the answer comes out as no, no, and no, I will go back with that response. I'll say, thank you again for thinking of me. And I'm going to say no this time. But please consider me in the future. Now, I don't owe them an explanation of why I said no. I don't.
No.
That's my personal decision. So respect your personal decision. If you stand by a no, you have to understand the explanation to your heart and your soul, not to theirs.
I love that we don't have to explain ourselves, because I feel like a lot of us feel like we do, and we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't answer in the moment. You took time to pause. That's something I'm really working on, taking time to pause before I respond to things. Having that gap in between to where I can think about multiple perspectives on a certain situation, because the lens I see through might not be the best lens to process that situation through.
Yeah. Even if it's an argument with somebody that you love or somebody you don't even know. If you took a moment and took pause and to say, thank you for that information, or I heard that, or let me hear it again clearly. If you said, I'd love to talk about this some more, let's take a break, or let's take 5, or let's come back to that tomorrow. I think that's respectful to yourself and to others.
I love that. The pause. I like the pause. And when we pause and reflect, someone told me once, if it doesn't matter in 5 years, it shouldn't matter right now, And
Ooh.
yeah, isn't that interesting? And I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta start taking that more into, I have red hair, so sometimes I can have a little temper, shocking. And I got a little feisty side in me. And I think that the taking the time to pause for me, and just I feel like it was a pause. This last year and a half has been a pause. I mean, real estate, of course, we've been selling houses and serving our clients still in that capacity. And we're very honored and blessed to have been fortunate. Not everyone's been fortunate, to be blessed financially still during the last 18 months. But it has been a huge pause as far as social activities go, and as far as all these other things. I used to have a joke. Twice a year, our church does church on Zoom, like a Zoom, not Zoom, but on something like this, like you can watch it on TV.
Uh-huh.
And I love it because I call it Pajama Church. And I've always said, I wish we could just have Pajama Church every week instead of having to get dressed up, because in our church, people dress up and you go to church, right? And it used to be 3 hours, and now it's only 2 hours, which is even better. But then the pandemic came, and then we had Pajama Church. This is how the law of attraction works. I've been saying for 30 some years, I wish we had Pajama Church, for every week. And then for the last 18 months, I had Pajama Church at my house. I could just wear my pajamas all day Sunday and watch it on the screen, And
oh, that's great.
But I do think the pause is important.
Well, this last 18 months plus has been very interesting. I have not stopped for a day. I'm not off. And I have been hearing more people in fear, a voice of fear, a voice of yeah, but, a voice of what ifs. Early on, it was maybe, it was early March. This gentleman in San Francisco called me. He has 3 restaurants. And he said, En-May, I need a dose of En-May. And I go, okay, how do you want me to deliver that? And he goes, tell me what to do. So he has 3 restaurants, one on the Embarcadero, one on Fisherman's Wharf, and another one downtown. Mm-hmm. And one of them is like a 5-star restaurant, like woo restaurant. I can't even eat there.
Shishi restaurant.
Yes, those. So I said, that's the one I'm going to rescue first. And I said, if you think about it, your email addresses and your contact list is still huge, and you serve a type of clientele. They still need to eat the way they know how to eat. I said, pull the pizza parlor people over there right now. You're going to need them. You're going to send prefix dinners, and you're going to deliver them Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
Oh, that's good.
Kabam! That restaurant was so flooded just preparing that 5-star meal that he had to bring in the people from the pizza parlor to be the delivery service. And they wore black shirts, black ties, and a white towel and a tie. And they delivered everything with toilet paper in gold, wrapped in gold.
Toilet paper was gold.
Paper, yeah, it was wrapped in gold foil. And that became so huge. And it's still huge. So none of the people had to go on unemployment. There were 100 employees, grand total, in 3 locations. The other restaurant on the pier, they weren't allowed to open their doors. But that one had the biggest freezer. So we used that location for storage of some desserts and dinners that can be prepared in advance. We even offered frozen food dinners for some people who wanted that. There was very wonderful sauces that he had. That guy had, oh my God, he makes a killer sauce. So he provided a menu of those kind of things for Restaurant A. And that became still a service center and a great kitchen to prepare that product. The other one that was pizza, that was in the city, he decided he has to give back. So he manufactured pizzas for the police and the fire department and the 3 hospitals in San Francisco, and said, you can either pick it up or I'll deliver. And he gave that product away. This guy is now out of the pandemic. He is keeping that format. And he's hired another 20 people. So now he has 120 people, none of which had to go on unemployment. They're making more money now than ever. But it was a matter of leaving his fear behind for 3 months or 4 months and getting into the place where he goes, I love it when.
He pivoted. That's the thought that just came to me. With your help, this is why I think people should contact you. They should have a coach in their life, because sometimes with the lens and the filters in our life experience, we can't see. We know we need to pivot, but we get stuck in fear, which immobilizes us. And then we don't know which way to pivot or how to, I'm in the process, of course, we still sell real estate, but I'm in the process of, I'm going to be a best-selling author. I'm doing my podcast. I'm doing some online courses for people so I can impact more people and help them with the tools that they need, right? And they can access them at their own speed, right?
Right.
And I knew what I wanted to say exactly, and I joined this group with this woman. Her name's Maya, and she's just amazing. God brought her into my life. It's just amazing. And literally, she took what I was saying, what I said, which I knew, I was trying to refine it, but it still didn't sound right. I knew it was missing something. And then she literally turned it into instantaneously, because she's ahead of the journey on me, right? She's so good at this, and this is what she does. She's a best-selling author, and she has a huge following. Anyway, and literally instantly she said, how did she turn it into? She turned it into, what is it called? Don't, oh yeah, this isn't your practice life, which is what I said. This isn't your practice life. Do what you love now. So she took what I was saying and she took it in and succinctly made it into a thing that I can market and turn it into. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this isn't your practice life. Do what you love now. And literally, I spent hours on it. At like two after I talked to her, like 2 seconds later, she just blurted it out. She goes, "What I hear," after she listened to me, and then she said, "Well, it sounds like this is what your message says to me." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that is succinct and it resonates, right?" And I think when we get outside help, when we get coaches and intuitives and people like this is your specialty, this is what you do, and I think that you tap into God, source, energy, which there's no better partner on this in the universe than source. And you have a direct line with that. So when somebody who has a good heart is like that restaurant owner, he's checking in with you because that that idea came into his head. Then he followed through on it. And then he pivoted to what you said to do because you have that direct line. And then look how it's blessing all these people. Plus these pizzas are going to people for free, right? That was never happening before. Now he's
Right.
blessing all these people. Those people all got to keep their jobs. They didn't have to stress
Oh,
out about money or wonder when the government was going to send them their next check or
right.
their lives were they were not impacted in a negative way. And it's a greater good for society in general has come out of this fear and pain that he had.
Correct. Correct. Um, in Asia, it's very common to have a shaman or a spirit guide or an intuitive on staff. Um, Often we are part of the committee or the larger part group of management. But here in the Western states, it's not as commonly found. Even though the president has his spiritual guides
Mm-hmm.
on board, in the cabinet,
Yeah.
uh, we have to think about what our cabinet looks like. And sometimes we could use a little bit of assistance from what I call spirit. I'm not talking about being spiritual or religious. It's to have a good and kind and compassionate spirit. When your company, when your business, when you sell, when you're moving with compassion, when you're moving with good spirit, then that is the sound foundation. It won't break.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to crumble. It's not going to fall down. But if your spirit is wonky or got holes in it or it's just too blah, 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 and that's when you can go get some help and get some assistance. And then ongoing, the purpose of that is to make sure that we're continuing to move in the highest good.
Yes, because if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. And I think when we get that scaffolding,
Yeah.
we get some scaffolding, it really helps, right? Because we're all connected.
Oh my goodness, we are more one than not.
Yeah, we're all connected. I have a question for you. Is there a question I haven't asked you that you think I should ask you? I just thought of that. Mm-hmm.
Colleen, I think the only question is my soul in cooperation with my spirit?
Mm.
Now, I think that we are all here for this magical reason. Everyone has their own. And the one commonality I think that all souls are here for is to experience joy. We did not pop out of a vagina to have a bad time. Okay.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
agree. No, it's exactly right.
Right? We did not come here to have a bad time. And I think that we have to experience maybe some heartache or even a hard beginning. For some people, I've watched successful leaders come from broken homes or not even have a home, from a lot of emotional distress. And they wonder, why am I doing what I get to do? Well, it's because you're supposed to spread that joy. It's not just for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So the more we spread it like peanut butter, it's got to stick. I think that then we know that our heart is filled. our heart is being filled with our purpose. And passion comes along with it. Money comes along with it. Joys come along with it. So every once in a while, just make sure that you are in alignment of both your heart and your soul.
I think that's great advice. And I think that when you take that assessment every so often, then we make sure that makes sure you're kind of doing some course corrections and making sure that our activities are lining up with making sure that our heart and our soul are at their highest good. I don't think we take the time to ask ourselves that frequently.
Yeah. Life is kind of a roller coaster, but I think it's a small world after all.
I love that. I love that ride. It's a small world. I love Disneyland. I know
We
not
are on
everyone
the
can.
ride. Holy smokes.
I do. I love fun. See, I love Disneyland. I don't like big roller coasters, but I like fun and I like fun food and I like the small roller coasters. I even like to shop at Disneyland. I don't even like to shop normally, but at Disneyland, it's fun.
Disney Shanghai, Hong Kong had to close early during the pandemic. And I have some people that I work with there. And they talk to me as a spiritual advisor. Unlike Anaheim, they're all different. But anyways, I was very concerned about the management and how they were looking at what their job was versus what they have to do for their greater good. And I felt like everybody was in conflict of, do we have to continue to make money or do we take the risk and bring the public in? I said, you can continue to make the money, but it's going to stream. That means the revenue is going to come from other resources of Disney, not the park.
Yeah.
So I said, close the freaking park. This is dangerous. And at this time, and until we can have a greater handle on things, let's lock the door. Boom.
And they did, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then they found a few days where they can open, and then a few days they had to close. And it was quite a ride. So nonetheless, they are coming out of their ugliness. But incredibly, it's the streaming revenues from their movies and other access.
Disney Plus.
Right. So that's the intention and purpose. So they are still doing what they set out to do.
Yeah, the money's still coming in. And I think as a park guest, right, I'm a big Disney fan. I'm grateful that they made sure we're safe and that I can keep enjoying it because I'm still alive.
Right.
Moving forward,
Right.
What was I going to tell you? I just wanted to say that it's interesting talking to you because I haven't seen you in a while. And it is amazing that literally talking to you, even though we're not in person, in my space, I can feel you. Like here in my home, I can feel your spirit and your energy here. And it's a good feeling. I remember once you were in California and was it Francis? I don't know who was in my office.
Yeah, Francis,
Yeah, you and Francis were at my office and it was so cute. She's like, can we use your office? I'm like, heck yeah, you can take En-May to my office anytime.
That was so fun. Oh my gosh. Colleen, it's been a joy to be with you today. And I thank you. And I thank all of your readers and listeners who sent in questions. They're welcome to contact me. And I know you'll share my information. I think that this is a remarkable time in our world. And I don't think it's quite over yet. When we're talking about this pandemic, we need to be conscientious of our neighbors and our elderlies and our little ones, those who are fragile. And we don't know what underlying diseases or immune systems that are weakened by other people. So I think respect and kindness and compassion is on high order right now. So
I love you.
Let's all practice that. Thank you.
Thank you for spending your time with us and sharing your wisdom and energy with us. And I'm going to put En-May's contact. It's at en-may.com if you want her website. But we're going to put everything in the notes and in the Facebook, everything. So people can contact you. highly, highly recommend that you take a chance. If you, like, for those of you that this resonated with, just do it. Reach out to En-May and get her on your team. For those of you who are not sure and you're thinking, wow, Colleen's really lost it. I think you should really, I hope that those of you who know me will think about how you know my heart and you know what my reputation is. And I hope you will overcome your skepticism and reach out to En-May. And I know that you'll be blessed if you do, because when you reframe all the stuff in your life into the higher good, it helps you find your joy easier, in my opinion. So we'll sign off and let En-May get back to her real life, and I'll get back to my real life. But what an honor, for real. I was just thrilled. Anyway, so you have a wonderful night and tell your husband hello.
Yours too. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, gorgeousness, and thank John. Thank heavens for John. He fixed this so we could.
Well, John, man, he made us get sound out there. Thank you.
I would remarry him today or tomorrow. You know,
good idea.
Yeah, good idea. Good choice. Anyway, goodbye, gorgeous. Oh wait, this is the one question I ask everyone. What miracle have you seen in your life? Because this miracle's in my normal. What's a miracle you want to share with us, and then we'll be done.
Oh gosh. You know, I get to do that every day. That's part of my work. I think that everybody has to stop and take a look that there are miracles right in front of you, right in front. Okay. The fact that you have water, the fact that you have friends. Gosh, just think about that. That's a freaking miracle. Okay, so look at what we have right in front of us, and don't take that for granted. It's just such a blessing.
Thank you for sharing that. So people maybe need to redefine their miracles, what they are. Anyway, thank you, gorgeous.
Bye, Rockstar.
Bye, gorgeous.